All right, guys. So I'm going to be talking about the 4 disciplines of execution today. And this is perfect for your 2025 goals. So sit back and hope you enjoy it. So I'm really going to be freestyling here. And I haven't read this book, but I have listened to a podcast about it. And it's pretty easy to understand, but it really breaks down things so that you have a higher chance of reaching your goals. So if you do have a lot of goals for 2025, like I do, this will be a good watch for you. As always, please subscribe, like, comment. Really appreciate your support. Really encourages me to keep on going. So yeah, I'll just get right into it. So the first discipline here is to focus on the wildly important. And when it comes to goals, a lot of people will set pretty vague goals. Like, oh, I want to lose some weight. I want to grow my business. I want to find a relationship, but you really gotta like focus on making it specific, and having deadlines in place. So in this book, they talk about some examples here from a major global retail company. And by the way, this book is by Sean Chris McChesney, uh, 4 Disciplines of Execution. Chris McChesney, Sean Covey, and Jim Huling. And Sean Covey is related to the guy who wrote the 7 disciplines, or set the 7 habits of highly effective people. Um, so yeah, he gives a couple examples here, or they give a couple examples from a major global retail company. Improve inventory processing, develop and strengthen new and existing client relationships. But these really don't specify how you can measure them. They're not specific. They don't have deadlines in there either. So you really want to break things down and focus on what's super important and have firm deadlines in place. And if you're running a company, you want to have a specific goal, a vision for the company that has a deadline in place, and then work back from that. Have like your managers, your leaders, and the people on the ground floor have goals that are aligned with that vision, and make sure they're specific as well. Um, so they also give the example of NASA's goals in 1958, and as you can see here, there's like 6 or 7 goals here or something like that. And then in 1961, JFK had one goal here, and that was to get someone on the moon by the end of the decade. All right, so moving on to discipline number 2 here, and that's to focus on the lead measures, or act on the lead measures. And so what a lead measure is it's a specific action that you can take on your goals. For example, if my wildly important goal is to lose 100 pounds within 6 months, by June 1st, 2025, I want to lose 100 pounds. All right, that's the lag measure. That's the end goal. The lead measure is going to be, what are the things I'm doing on a day-to-day basis to get there? So that could be following a strict diet, making sure your calories you're running and operating in a calorie deficit every day with your food, so you're not eating too much food. You could be walking a certain amount of steps every day. For example, hey, I want to walk 10,000 steps per day. And so making sure you're acting on those lead measures every single day is super important. That is discipline number 2. So as I mentioned, it's not difficult to understand, but it's all in the execution. And I think following this honestly will improve your odds of reaching your goals. So discipline number 3 is creating a compelling scoreboard. So acting on those lead measures every day, focusing on the wildly important, acting on the lead measures, and then creating a compelling scoreboard. So writing down your habits every single day. So building on that example of losing 100 pounds within the next 6 months, um, you want to be writing down, whether that's on paper or in Google Sheets or Microsoft Word or wherever you do it, um, what you did that day. So if you walked 12,000 steps, if you ate 2,000 calories, if you lifted weights a certain amount of times for a certain amount of reps, did a certain number of exercises, you're going to want to write all that stuff down. And the key here is to make it like a game so that you're having fun with it. You're enjoying the process. If you gamify it, if you gamify your goals, you're going to enjoy doing it. You're going to look forward to like marking what you did the next day and see your progress over time. So that's the gist of creating a compelling scoreboard right there. I definitely want to review more of this book and really go over like all the examples in here. But yeah, that's the gist of that. Just having fun with it, gamifying it, and then discipline number 4 is to create a cadence of accountability. Again, I'll repeat that. Create a cadence of accountability. And so after you write everything in this scoreboard, you're going to want to have someone you can tell, I recommend daily, about the progress you've made that day. And this is super important because you're gonna feel like you want to make that person proud. You want to let me fix this camera, by the way. You want to really stick to your goals, and you want to not let that person down. You told this person you were going to do something, and you want to keep that promise to them. You want to be able to show them your scoreboard and report to them really every day. If not every day, then every other day or every week. And be able to have that accountability is super key. So that, yeah, it's super simple. The 4 disciplines. Again, it's not simple to execute. Well, I should say it is simple to execute. And I think it's going to be fun too. So yeah, wrapping it up, we've got create or focus on the wildly important as number 1. Number 2 is act on the lead measures. Number 3 is create a compelling scoreboard. Number 4 is create a cadence of accountability. And that's it. Do that for all your goals in 2025 and watch your chances of achieving them improve dramatically. I've also heard that your chances of achieving your goals increases by like 42% by writing your goals down on paper. I feel like there's studies on it. I guess it like cements it in. But yeah, that's the point I wanted to make. Got through that in a little over 8 minutes here. So I'm just gonna riff for another 10 or 15 minutes here. I have some other books that I would like to discuss today. I do want to. Oh, this wasn't the book I was gonna pull out, but I do have another book here. Great book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. I don't know if you've read it before, but it's a classic. It's been sold millions and millions and millions of times, and is just timeless advice. The book was written, I want to say, like close to 100 years ago or something like that, and it's just interpersonal skills that just, again, are timeless and will never go out of fashion. So yeah, some of the stuff he talks about in here are principle number 1 of this chapter is don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Principle number 2 is give honest and sincere appreciation. And principle 3 is to arouse in the other person an eager want. And so I 100% agree with all this stuff. I think that if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it. Um, you want to keep those negative thoughts to yourself most of the time, unless it's like a healthy debate, or it's constructive criticism, or you're in a context where you're in a business setting and they're asking for feedback on your ideas, etc. Um, you don't really want to be criticizing, condemning, or complaining. And then give honest and sincere appreciation. You definitely, like, that's what people crave the most is sincere appreciation. And so if you can reach out to people and like give them genuine compliments, not just like bullshit it, but like really find something specific, and mean it when you say it. I think that's going to go a long way in your interactions day to day. And then arousing the other person to eager want. So, that's kind of just talking about persuasion and how you get someone to do anything is to learn learn about them first. They kind of learn what motivates them. What do they like? What do they don't like? Um, are they motivated by money? Is it status? Is it power? Um, really understand that, and you're gonna have a much better job being able to persuade people and motivate them. All right, so see what else we got here. Principle 2 of this chapter is to smile. I need to smile more myself. Um, I think day to day, you're come across as a much more friendly person, and you're going to enjoy your interactions a lot more if you're smiling more. I don't even think I need to mention this, but I think everyone just wants to spend their days smiling and laughing. If you could spend all day just smiling and laughing, I think we'd all be pretty happy. We'd all be living better lives, and I think the world would be a much, much, much better place. Um, but yeah, I think this is just a reminder. Smile more often. Make it a goal to smile more in 2025. Let's fucking go. What else do we have here? Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. This is super important. People love to be called by their names. Um, yeah, I mean, it kind of just speaks for itself. Like, call people by their names. Remember names. When you're meeting people for the first time, a good thing to do is to um, think of a famous person who has the same name, like Brad Pitt, or I'm just thinking Angelina Jolie. So you can it will be a lot easier to remember that person's name if you associate them with a famous person. You're like, oh, Brad Pitt. This guy's name is Brad. Um, but yeah, no, it goes without saying. People love to be addressed by their names. All right. So the principle here is to be a good listener and encourage others to talk about themselves. I can't emphasize this enough. Um, when you're talking to people, most people don't give a fuck about you. They care about them. People care about themselves. So if you can get people to talk about themselves, that's going to make people enjoy the conversation a lot more. Um, Become genuinely curious um, about people, about the person you're talking to. Learn about them. What motivates them. What do they like? What do they don't like? What's their story? Where are they from? Um, you know, People want to talk about themselves, and get people to do that, and they're going to open up, and and enjoy their time speaking with you. So, yeah, listen. You got 2 ears, 1 mouth. So listen at least twice as much as you speak. So another principle here is to talk in terms of the other person's interests. So yeah, that comes back to like what motivates people. Find out what motivates them. Find out what they like, what they don't like, and and talk about that stuff. Talk in terms. Talk in their language. Talk about what people like. All right. So make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. Yeah, 100%. This comes back to addressing the person by their name, to acknowledging them with genuine, sincere compliments, to genuinely care about that other person. Um, yeah, you gotta just genuinely care about them, and yeah, understand what they like, what they don't like. Listen more than you speak, and become genuinely interested in them. Become curious about them, and smile. Coming back to smiling. Smiling puts yourself in a great state. Smiling improves your state, improves other people's states. It's infectious. Smile more. Um, so, wrapping this chapter up, 6 ways to make people like you. Principle 1, become genuinely interested in other people. Principle 2, smile. Principle 3, remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Principle 4, be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. Principle 5, talk in terms of other person's interests. And principle 6, make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. Alrighty. Coming up to another chapter. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. When you're arguing with people, if you win, you make the other person feel bad. If they win, they make you feel bad. Try to avoid arguments if you can. I know, it depends on the context, but try to avoid these arguments. Watch your life get better. All right. Another principle here, show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say you're wrong. So yeah, respect other people. If someone differs from you in their opinion, that's okay. It's not like they're even if they are wrong, you don't have to call them out saying you're wrong. Um, you can be polite about it. Um, try to be respectful. It's okay to disagree, but just don't be an asshole. If you're wrong, admit it. Admit it quickly and emphatically. Yeah, be honest. If you make a mistake, own up to it. Take responsibility. Don't be a victim. Um, everyone makes mistakes, but it's important to acknowledge when you're wrong and admit that you're wrong sometimes. We all are at times. Um, no one's perfect. So just own up to it and make sure you're honest. Yeah. All right. Begin in a friendly way. So I think this is talking about when you first start the interactions, make sure you're coming across as friendly, and that comes back to managing your state on a day-to-day basis, on an hour-by-hour basis, on a minute-by-minute basis. Really be aware of how you're feeling emotionally, where your head's at, and strive to get back to positive emotions. Um, if you're having a tough day, you want to just take inventory of where you're at, um, and then just, give it a couple seconds. If you're feeling like shit, give it a couple seconds. Give it like 30 seconds. And then be like, all right, I'm snapping back into being positive and feeling good and feeling grateful to be alive and being friendly with other people and loving yourself and all that stuff. I think Tony Robbins is the guy who has like either a 30-second rule or a 90-second rule where he'll just go back to living in a beautiful state. He makes it a must to live in a beautiful state every day, as much as possible. You want to feel a range of emotions, but you want to make your default emotions bliss, joy, love, happiness, calm, confidence, all of these great positive states, gratitude. So yeah, that was my wrap up of the 4 disciplines of execution and how to win friends and influence people. So thank you for tuning in. Again, please subscribe, like, comment. Really appreciate you guys. Until next time, have a great night, a great day, great morning, wherever you are, and hope you have a beautiful day.